Marc Maron.
Are we on? Is this happening?
Yeah.
Mine sounds a little distorted. How's it looking? How's it look to you? How are those levels?
I think this might be the most nervous I've been.
What's the matter?
Because you are the podcasting king of you started this whole thing. You inspired me.
Really?
Yeah, and now you're here. I'm completely unqualified to interview you.
What are you talking about? You just have a conversation. I didn't start anything. There's no one. People have been interviewing people for a long time, and I just got lucky. There were other people doing the podcasts, but I just do it my way. And for some reason, people took to it. Some people, and it seemed to be a unique way that I talk to people. But I didn't invent anything. I don't think you need to be nervous. I'm just telling you that. If you want to be, you can.
I had, this is me being a narcissist. I had
that I can relate to.
A boyfriend tell me that I got a role because I got lucky.
Huh.
And I always resented that.
Yeah, that's shitty.
Well, so what I'm saying is it's not luck.
Well, no, let's say cosmic timing. I think I had the talent and that I've been working towards it somehow or another for a long time. That I was prepared to do it. I didn't think that that podcasting would be the thing that would put me on the map, whatever that map is. But let's not say luck. Let's just say for once, my cosmic timing was good.
Have you always been pretty curious, like curious about people?
I think so. When I was a kid, yeah, I liked talking to people that seemed to have a handle on things or have something interesting about them or live or sort of like presented in a way that was curious. I don't think fundamentally I'm interested in everybody.
Were you a lonely kid? I was a lonely kid. That's why.
What do you mean? Were you only child?
No, I have an older brother and we're really close now. I was just a lonely kid. I was just
Yeah.
I felt like
I guess I was lonely, but I think I was more uncomfortable. Like I had friends, but it always seemed like it was an effort to make them. I've always felt like I had friends out of persistence.
Are you still friends? Are you still friends?
Annoying people
with
to
anyone?
Tolerate me.
Are you still friends with anyone from high school?
Yeah, I'm friends with somebody from second grade, third grade, Jewish kid, Jew community. Hebrew school, David. I still keep in touch with him. High school, not really too much. Not even from college. But I don't keep in touch with too many people. Oh wait, one of my best friends from freshman year of college is still one of my good friends. So that's right after high school.
Did you go to any of your reunions?
I went to one. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
I waited to go until I had some, at least credibility in my business. I didn't go to, there was a 20-year one, I think, or maybe a 15-year one. I was like, I ain't going. I haven't even done Letterman yet. Something like that. I can't remember.
So you wanted to go after. Yeah.
I wanted to have something to show for myself.
Was there a gal that you were like, I got to impress?
From high school?
Yeah, come on.
Not anymore.
What?
Not really.
But at least give us the romanticized version of it. Call her Rebecca, I don't know, Rebecca Duncan.
Well, it's kind of the opposite. Because I went to a huge high school. There was 3,400, people. There was 900 people in my graduating class. So it turned out that this reunion, when I got there, it was organized by all those girls that you were like, ugh, those girls, they're still, they're still making decisions that affect my life socially. Those snotty girls.
Yes, I saw.
So, there was one girl who's a woman now who I didn't ever want to be romantically involved with, but I knew her and her
But you
sister.
wanted to fuck her.
I want to fuck her.
Who doesn't? Yes, I want to fuck her too.
I did want to fuck her. I didn't want to fuck her, but I did want to show her.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to, but it turns out a lot of them have been humbled by the great wheel of life. And,
you mean age?
Huh? I don't know. It's not so much age. Age, but also there's a humility to it. It is age, but there's some of these people.
Yeah, of course.
We're so confident and horrible in high school, and now they're just fat and broken now.
And we're
I'm still in pretty good shape and broken. I've learned to use my brokenness in a positive effect.
Did you go to high school in Albuquerque? Is that where you went to high school?
Yeah, I went to junior high in Albuquerque. I got kicked out of private school. I went to the
whoa, why?
Because I was a smart ass and I caused trouble.
No, come on.
It wasn't like drugs or anything exciting. I was literally so disruptive,
like a jerk,
and hilarious that they wanted me out. I like
this idea.
That was like
that is unbelievably narcissistic that you just said that. Yeah. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah. I have a little bit of narcissism.
Oh, you do?
A little bit. I don't think I'm pathologically narcissistic, but I think my father is, and I have a residual effect. I have too much self-awareness to be honestly narcissistic. Like I feel shame, I feel empathy, I have a conscience. I can't compartmentalize that well unless I have to. I'm not a liar unless my life depends on it.
So what about poker?
I don't play poker. I wear my heart on my sleeve too much. I don't have the patience for it. I just get frustrated and I'm like, why do I keep getting shitty cards? Like I don't play poker well.
How do you feel about game night?
I don't do game night. I don't have that many friends.
I don't either.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Game night. Who does that?
Hate game
like
night.
If I have like
I'm so bad at that shit.
Like my girlfriend is not that social. I'm not that social. So when we go out, it's like a big deal. If we go out with other people, it's like, wow, we're doing it. We're going to be talking to other people.
Then you're like, let's get the fuck out of here after.
No,
I
usually have a good time. I know how to socialize. I'm pretty, I can do it. Like I can interact with people. I'm relatively charming, You
are giving me a nice little shoulder rub right now. Oh, that feels so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I got kicked out of junior high, and then they that's the guy with the computer.
Oh, it's Cassie.
Cassie, hi.
Hi, Cassie.
Our head writer.
Oh, is there writing here? There's writing involved. Is he doing anything? This guy? Are we doing the podcast yet? Is it happening?
We just like to listen to our voices in the headphones.
And then do you do an intro or a thing? How do you?
You've never listened to the podcast?
What do you want from me? I have my own podcast, and
do you remember when I invited you? You don't remember when I invited you on the podcast?
In the parking lot of the Comedy Store?
Holy shit, you remember?
Yeah, I remember. Wait, what am I, a moron?
Oh my God. I thought you were totally dismissive of me. I was really sad.
People misread me. I'm usually just thinking about me, and you come up with all this energy.
I'm blown away right now. I'm completely blown away. I thought,
Mark, I have to tell you.
Shit.
What?
A couple days ago, when when we had you booked, we were thrilled, and Sim was like, I got to bring it up. Like, he was like, when I approached Mark and we talked about the podcast, I felt like Mark was completely dismissive and kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, you're a lot to deal with, coming up with all this excitement, ask me to be on a podcast. Yeah. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
That's true.
Oh my God.
No.
Thank you so much.
What the fuck? You're totally backing out.
No, but I might have been a little, I might have been a little over,
What?
but here's the thing. Do you get invited on podcasts all the time? I'm sure you do at the Comedy Store. All the comics have a
used to
podcast.
get
Oh my
more.
God. You two are both fucking dicks.
Hold on. No, that's.
Oh my God. What happens? What's happening over here with this one?
I'm just shocked that you remembered me. I thought.
I'll tell you after Sim talks.
Yeah.
I just thought that you get.
I was probably a little dismissive.
A little bit, yeah. Because I was a little hurt. But now I feel a lot better.
You're hurt enough to tell your girlfriend that you were hurt?
Yes.
And that what you're expecting. What did you want from me?
All I wanted was, even like if it was just like.
We wanted you to say, oh, wait, you know what, Mark? Now's your chance.
What?
If you feel like doing an audition.
Okay.
You could say, oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled to be on Unqualified.
Okay, here, let me try it. Oh, this is so crazy because I was just thinking about what a great podcast that is. And it's such a coincidence that you would did you come here to ask me, or were you just here at the
We're so glad that you're so honored to be here.
Honored. I mean, I just didn't I didn't assume that you would ever have me,
Well, it's like we do sort of a nonprofit segment,
Yeah.
This is like how we give back to other podcasts. Hosts.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh,
thank
you're welcome. You are welcome.
Don't mind
You're
being a
welcome.
charity case if it means
you're
I get
welcome.
to hang out with
You're
you
welcome.
too.
Yeah.
And I think you were probably being a little needy.
A little needy. And it also goes to listen to me. It goes to this. It goes to that. I really wanted you on the podcast because you're a hero of mine. I'm going to be a little complimentary here.
Yeah. Well, never meet your heroes.
That's what they say. They say never meet your heroes because you never know, and they might disappoint you. But I mean, we're in podcasting because of you.
Okay.
You're the best at this. You're one of the best. And we really look up to you and everything you've done for the industry. So I asked you nicely, and you were a little dismissive.
I'm vomiting in my mouth because before you got here, Mark, we were talking shit.
Oh yeah, he's going to make a stand.
No.
He's gonna show me. He's gonna give me a piece of his mind.
I just wanted the fact that you remember that I approached you in the parking lot. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It is.
You were such a fucking sellout.
How am I a sellout? I thought he completely. At least he remembered who I was. Well, he remembered your name.
I know the show. And I know that it's popular. And I apologize if I can get a little snotty. Because I don't know what people want from me. I can't. What am I supposed to say? Yes, let's do it. Make a date right now. I think I said, yeah, okay. Let's see what happens. I mean, what did I do?
You said, yeah, just send me an email, and I sent you an email. Then I got nothing back.
Is that true?
Yeah, I did. I can show you the email, but it's fine. it's okay. I mean,
I do that more than I'll
bleep this out, but I know your email address. It's a very easy email address.
Well, that one's not the real one.
.com. I can bleep it out. It's fine.
No, that's the one I give to people like you. No, but I mean, I look at that one and I'm glad this came around, but it gets to a point where for me, there's just, I don't have that much time. I don't listen to podcasts. I'm doing stand up. I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing the acting, and I'm doing there's just no way that I can do it. So I usually, once it gets to my manager or to my partner, my business partner, my producer, that this should be a thing that we do, then I do it. But I know you, and I remember you, but yeah, I don't do a lot of them because a lot of them turn out to be the same thing. And after a certain point,
wait, what do you mean by that?
What?
Like the same thing?
Well, I mean, I don't know what people want to talk to me about. If it's loose and we're having a good time, that's fine. But telling my story, it's no.
You've been doing it enough now. You feel every time you go on a podcast now to promote the book, you went on Bill Simmons, you went on, who else did you go on? But you're always talking about your life being one of the godfathers of podcasting. Are you sick of talking about it? Is that
well? Just the story's been told. The book thing. I never met Bill, and Bill Simmons and I. We're sort of lumped together a lot at a certain point in time. And I don't listen to his because I don't know nothing about sports or care. But my producer is a big fan and of his writing and knew the podcast. So I'm like, okay, if it's, I'll go on there and meet him because I think we wanted to meet as contemporaries. And it was a good conversation about podcasting.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Warby Parker. Warby Parker was founded with a rebellious spirit and the lofty goal of creating boutique quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point. Sunglasses, with or without a prescription, start at $95 and, just like eyeglasses, are available through their home try-on program. You just choose 5 pairs and see which ones you like. I was surprised by how quickly they arrived, which presented me with the immediate problem of deciding which ones to keep. I loved all of them, so you can guess what happened. And not only can you feel good about how cool you look, you can also feel good knowing that for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need through partnerships with nonprofits like Vision Spring. Offering eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams, Warby Parker is committed to providing exceptional vision care online and in stores. So put your FSA or HSA dollars to good use on Warby Parker prescription glasses, prescription sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Try Warby Parker's free home try-on program. Order 5 pairs of glasses to try at home for free for 5 days. There's no obligation to buy. Ships free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/unqualified. That's WARBYPARKER.com/unqualified. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by State Farm. And in honor of their surprisingly great auto insurance rates, I'm going to tell you about a particularly surprising day on set. It takes me a long time to read a script. For almost every line of dialogue, I will stop to figure out why my character would say it, how it fits in the conversation, and how it's going to come out of my mouth. Between the lines, there are larger chunks of text which describe everything else happening in the scene. Maybe what a room looks like, what characters are wearing, and what they're doing. As I often underestimate how long everything in my life takes, I know I can make up some time by reading those larger chunks a little faster. I got the script for Overboard about 6 months before we started production. I read it in my warm living room, wearing comfortably warm clothes, sipping from a warm mug of tea. Somehow, it never occurred to me that when you jump off a boat in the middle of the ocean, the water is surprisingly cold. And it doesn't get any warmer on take 2. Here at Unqualified, we love State Farm because they provide coverage that meets your needs at a surprisingly great rate. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today. Can I ask you, okay, first of all, dear listeners, our guest is Marc Maron, who's brilliant. He also stuck his green chewing gum on top of his phone, which is fascinating.
Where else was I supposed to put it?
I don't
didn't
know.
have a piece of paper.
I thought that it was polite. It was polite. It was totally polite.
I'll probably put it back in my mouth.
I'm just staring. I might put it in my mouth.
Part. You will?
Listen, we're close, aren't we?
Pretty close. Well, we're sitting close together.
Hey, can I ask you something about doing stand-up, though? What is the addiction that, like, because I'm in the world of comedy, but I felt like I fell into it.
Yeah.
I love doing it. I'm grateful for it. But I'm intrigued by the idea of putting yourself out there, potentially getting booed, potentially getting heckled, and then whatever the rush and the reward is that for the stand-ups that I know, they can't stop no matter how successful. Like there's still the draw. Can you help me understand that?
Well, I know at the beginning, there's the, when you're doing like 5 minutes, you're just trying to see if these 4 jokes work. So like, you're really like at the beginning, you're like, I have these jokes. I've got like 9 of them and I'm going to go see if they work. So when they work, you're like, oh God, that was great. That one really worked. I got laughs on that.
Are you so terrified that your neck is shaking? That's how I
don't know. Like I think that for most stand-ups, and I've said this before, that like for a long time, a lot of the job is appearing that you're not afraid. Like 80% of your energy goes into pretending you're not afraid or appearing calm. Yeah, I mean that's part of the act. Like I think there's a lot of fragile, sensitive, nervous people that get into stand-up for whatever reason. I don't know if I guess I was all of those things, but I was a little aggressive from the get-go. But like for me, the laughs, that whole thing, like you still need to know if jokes work. I guess I'm probably not being very honest, but the compulsion to keep doing it. Sometimes I think I can't, like I don't want to do it. Like I had to put together a special that I taped last year that's on now. Not last year. When did I tape it? Whenever I taped it. Too Real, my latest special, was probably the best stand-up I've ever done. It's on Netflix. And I didn't expect to be doing that. I really wanted to take some time off, but it never happens. But the act of putting a set together is very exciting. I don't know if it's addictive, but once you get rolling on it, once you know, like, well, I need an hour, I need an hour and a half, I need 2 hours. I work on things a very specific way, and I'm very engaged in the process. I don't know if it's addicting. I know that I need to do stand-up to know who I am because that's what I do. At the core of who I am and at the core of everything I've done is stand-up. So I know that I need to get on stage because I don't want that muscle to get to go, limp.
But what is the feeling of having an audience respond to something that you? I mean,
it's a feeling of connection. Like for me, as I've gotten older, like I need more than just laughs. I need to feel that I'm open enough emotionally, that we're connected, that there's an understanding, that there's at least a good portion of the audience that are very keyed into where I'm coming from emotionally and mentally, and just what I'm thinking about. I'm not really bullshitting too much up there, but I've gotten very comfortable in the last few years on stage. So I do play around a little more with technique and craft. So for me, some of the thrill with the audience is that like I'm applying more, very intentional bits of structure to my comedy, which I didn't used to do. I used to just wing it, which was exciting. It was more emotionally visceral.
Will you explain a little bit when you talk about structure? What do you mean?
Well, just knowing exactly why a joke works and why the timing works, and then tweaking it from night to night, trying to put different things together to see if they'll work. Like if I start one night, I'll go out with an idea and I'll just riff through the idea, or I'll riff through it on the beginning of the podcast, and then somebody will tell me, or I'll tell myself, that might be a good thing for the stage. So then I'll bring it up there and I'll riff through it, and I can see that the idea is something funny. And then once you see that, then it's like, well, how do I string it out? How do I build the idea out? And then, how do I get closure on it? And that can take a while because I don't really write. So I have to wait for the closure on stage. So for me, that is the most exciting thing. I think if I was really is that moment where I go up with an idea and it becomes funny on stage for reasons that I can't explain because I didn't write it down. It just happens out of necessity on stage, and that's how the jokes start to build themselves.
Is it the communal experience, or like that, like everyone can somehow relate to whatever,
I guess it's also the sort of the element of surprise, and people are excited, and that it's shared thoughts. Like, sometimes if I can get, like lately I've been trying to get people really hysterical in a way that I didn't used to do, where you can just build things and keep pushing, and there's a persistence thing to get them continually laughing. Like I'm just kind of fucking around with because I have a freedom of mind now, and I don't really I don't.
What does that mean?
It's like, what's the worst that can happen to me? It doesn't go well. I don't care. I don't need to I'm not doing it, because I have to for a living, thank God. I'm doing it because I love doing comedy, and I'm trying to, express things.
That's the mystifying thing about, I think, being a stand-up is how to deal with the idea that, you put the gum right back in your mouth. I was going to put it in my mouth.
We took too long. I'm just going to do it myself.
Fuck you, Marc Maron.
Why? Don't be mad.
And I'm not. Well, I am a little mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying about
feel
stand-up?
that from me.
Yeah, a little brittle.
I learned it from you.
You did not. What were you saying about stand-up?
The idea of like if I could never do stand-up, but if I were ever to do stand-up, I think I would be so desperate for the audience approval, and I don't know how I could overcome the idea that, like, you know what, this is like, I'm going to dismiss the audience if they reject me. You know what I mean? Like I'll be able to sleep tonight.
I guess so. I mean, I understand that. Like for me, I don't know if it was approval, maybe it was, but I was always sort of it was always a love-hate relationship for me starting out with comedy. Like it's like, why do I want them to like me? Who the fuck are these people? Fuck them. But I'm going to try to make them laugh. So that kind of shifted over time. And I understand.
And now what is
I understand what you're saying.
Because I'm still at that place.
Excuse me. The thing is, like, it is what I do. It is the way I express myself. I've tried a lot of different things in my life when I was younger to express my creativity. So that is what I do. So my freedom of mind is that I can say whatever the fuck I want to say on a stand-up stage, and nobody can tell me not to. Contextually, I'm supposed to make people laugh. That's the job. And, I accept that. But like, I have a freedom of mind because I can do whatever I want. So that is really what is appealing to me about stand-up is like you start doing it, no one can tell you what to do. The only rule is you're supposed to be entertaining, I guess, or you're supposed to get laughs. But when you start doing it, you define it. That's your stage. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to own that space? And that's a lifelong journey. And I have complete control over it. No one can tell me fucking anything. And when they do, fuck you. Well, you going to fire me from a club? Okay, I won't come back. Are you going to give me notes on my
Maron,
jokes?
Hey.
Yeah,
My
what's
name's
up?
Becca.
Hey, Becca.
I'm the manager here at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, we weren't thrilled with your set.
Oh, really?
So we kind of don't want you to return.
Really? Can I? Well, where's Adam? I want to talk to the manager because I don't fucking know you, and I don't know what kind of power you have here.
I fuck Adam every night.
Oh, so that makes you what? The boss?
Yeah.
Well, go fuck yourself. I don't need this fucking club anymore. After all I've done for this club.
Okay, good. But we're also not going to validate
my parking.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's fine. Well, I'll be sure to mention this on my podcast.
Oh, you have a podcast?
Yeah. A lot of people listen to it, and maybe I don't know. That's fine. It's fine with me.
But listen, we're also opening up a secondary club.
Oh yeah, for people like me
down on Beverly.
That's happened to me.
It's called Joke, Joke, Joke.
Right, for people that don't make the cut for the big room here.
Yeah. We'd love to have you though.
Yeah, I can't make that.
I'd love to have you read,
Read for the part as the comic at Joke, Joke, Joke. That actually happened to me once. Like that I've dealt with that shit before in my life. Yeah, I have, I do have spite. What's going on over there?
Of course you have spite. I can feel it reverberates off of you.
No.
Oh yeah.
When you just did that improv with me?
Does spite reverberate off of me? Because I have it too, but I feel like I'm pretty good at masking it.
I don't feel spite from you. I feel like you're barely keeping it together, and and you're pretty sensitive, and you're sort of like a little fragile right now, and that you're just
whoa,
and you're just the anger is just protecting you from just completely coming unglued.
I love it.
Is that wrong? Am I wrong? You all right?
How could I deny? If I deny, it's a lose-lose with you.
No, it's not. I'm not. But that thing you just did, though, that's happened to me where I've been condescended to because of what I do, because I was not understood as a comic. It happened a lot when I was younger. And I didn't get a lot of work at some places. But there was one guy who had a big club, that club that I'd worked at, where at some point he decided that I wasn't right for his club anymore, but he has this other space for what I do. And I just couldn't fucking believe it. And I was just, that guy had.
Was he able to identify what you did that was specific?
Well, people
for the other
I came up in comedy clubs, and then when alternative comedy happened, there was I got lumped into that. But I always was a comedy club comic, and now because of the podcast and because of my relationship with my audience, my comedy's just never been better, and it's just regular stand up as far as I can tell. I'm glad I do it differently than most people, or that it seems different to some people, and. I've finally kind of realized, who I am up there and what I do. There's no fear anymore, and no one can take anything away from me. So that freedom of mind I'm talking about, it's just that I don't give a fuck anymore. Like in the difference between you and me in terms of comedy.
I still give a fuck.
No. You're a comedic performer, right? So for me, what I do is I have to do all of it. I got to write my own shit. And then for me to get physical or to make decisions like that with, if it's not, someone's not giving me a script to be funny with. Right. So when you get a script to be funny with, you're either it's written for you or you can make choices in that script, to do funny shit or to, take it to a level where you're going to show yourself as this comedic performer. Right.
Right.
With me, it's all coming from me. So it took me a lot of years to sort of be comfortable doing physical stuff, to find the freedom of mind to do it. So it's all So that's the satisfaction. That's the addiction, is I can do whatever the fuck I want to, and I make it all up. And, I get my thoughts across. I get my sadness, my anger, my passion, my, love, whatever. It's all going to come through that stand-up.
Will you give me advice about podcasting or about life in general? You were really staring.
What do you need?
I guess I feel.
Go ahead.
Is this what you do on your podcast? You just stare at your guest deep in the eyes because it's.
I know. I try to keep a nice, healthy boundary, and I listen, and I do look at them in the eyes because that it's important when you're talking to somebody, so they feel heard and seen. It seems to scare you.
When you do it, yes. You dark
This is
soul.
crazy. This is crazy because you're normally staring directly into our guest's eyes. This is the first time I've seen you a little intimidated.
I told you that
I didn't
this
think
was
you were
going to
be
scare
this
the shit out of
intimidated.
me. What the fuck?
This is home court advantage. You should have control over this thing.
He came early.
He did come early, which
sorry.
kind of threw things off.
It did. You weren't
did.
completely prepared?
Nope.
Oh, really?
But I
Not at all.
don't know.
We had to scramble to get this set up. Our writer wasn't here.
I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't know what else to do because I was in Glendale. I didn't want to go back home. And then I came here and I knew it'd be early. I wasn't sure exactly where it was. I thought maybe there'd be something to do around here. There's not.
Larchmont's 3 blocks away. You could have had a cup of coffee.
I could have, but I'm not drinking coffee right now. I'm drinking tea. But I could have done that. Yes. I did not do it. I thought I'd drive by here, see where I'm going to be, and then maybe go somewhere. And then I texted my manager. I'm like, do you think they could be ready for me? Look, this has happened to me at my house, and it's terrible when someone comes early. Because then I'm like, I'm not there yet.
Who's the, besides President Obama?
He was not early. Right on time. Helicopters, motorcade.
But who's been sort of some guests maybe that you've been nervous about?
I'm nervous about everybody, really, unless I know the person.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's different types of nervousness. Like, there's fan nervousness, and then there's just sort of like, what is this person like nervousness? Are they able to talk nervousness? Like, is this person like I think they're like? I'm never, unless I know the person well, or I've had many experiences with the person, I'm always a little nervous. But if I know them, I'm like, all right, so what's up?
Do you have strategies of how you get in? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I usually just start rolling before they, right when we get in the garage, and I just react to whatever they're doing, like in terms of looking around the garage or talking to me. Sometimes I ask them where they came in from or what's up, and and then I don't know how. I don't know really. I don't necessarily have a way of starting, other than just if I can pull it off. They don't know that we're already on, so when they go like, "Is it started?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and then just keep talking. I don't know if I have a strategy with that. Sometimes I interrupt a lot of people. Just because what they're saying they've said before over and over again, so I tend to interrupt until they stop saying what they've said over and over again, unless I think what they've said over and over again is good, and that maybe the people that listen to my show have not heard them say it over and over again.
right. Like people that have like their talking points or their.
A lot of public people do. And a lot of times I don't necessarily know it, especially if I don't know the person. But their fans are always like, great job at getting the same shit out of Marilyn Manson. I'm like, look, I barely gave a shit, and he was shit-faced, and I liked him. And most of my listeners, they haven't heard any of that.
Do you think that, because I think that there's a difference between musicians and actors.
Oh, yeah.
With like
musicians don't have to talk.
With our interviews, it's definitely, and there's also a difference between male actors and female actors.
I've said this to you before. I don't know why this is the case, but I always feel like you're better with male guests as opposed to female guests. I don't understand why, but I always feel like you're just always on. Why do you think that is?
What are you talking about?
You've never noticed that you're better with male guests than female guests?
I mean, you've told me that before, but I think that it's because I fuck them in the back when you're not looking.
Wait, did I miss something? Was that part of it?
Do you need to go?
I should have come on time. Is that an on time thing?
It's an on time thing.
But I think that I'm hesitant to say this part, but I do think that women are we're easily targeted for saying incendiary things or like anything like that might be taken out of context or whatever. And so there's a stricter protocol around.
I think that's right. Some women won't even do shows.
Yeah.
Why? Why do long form conversations if they're going to get, somehow sandbagged or like,
yeah. Well, I mean, publicists have asked me to get the copy beforehand, to get the MP3 beforehand.
They're protecting them.
Yeah, but I won't do it. Do you ever let people listen to your show beforehand?
No, but like I think people like know what they're getting into with my show. And I do have, it's harder to get actresses than it is to get actors. And a lot of times actors, I don't know, for a while there, I just didn't talk to actors. But then once I started acting more, I needed to learn things. So I started talking to more actors. You don't know what you're going to get with actors.
Really?
Yeah, because some of them have an image and some of them have a mystique that they don't want shattered. And I think with actresses, it's even more so.
Yeah.
So it makes them difficult to talk to and sometimes difficult to book because they don't want people knowing about their life because it might diminish their
when mystique. You hide behind when your art
that.
Is like playing characters,
right?
And
the less people know about you, the better.
Well, but also it's like not being trained in sort of the art of vulnerability, of personal vulnerability. It's like we've, grown up, if you're an actor, saying other people's words and then being like attempting when you do press to stick to like the script that you're supposed to stick to or whatever. And so you don't want to, it's not comfortable, of course, to reveal too much, but that's why doing the podcast for me has been so fucking liberating.
Right. But sometimes you can get people.
But you must feel that way, right?
Yeah. I like talking to people. Yeah, the podcast is good for me because it's a full range of my capabilities. I don't have to always be funny and I can engage in a lot of different ways. But some people it's interesting. I talked to Annette Bening and she's a real deal and she's been around a long time and she's won Oscars or an Oscar at least. And, she definitely has a pretty solid public narrative. But, at any given point in a conversation, it can be nuanced. There's some things that I think people who are pros at being out in the world publicly, media-wise, there's just some things they're just not going to talk about. And you can, kind of push them a little bit, but you're like, no, it's just not going to happen. But, sometimes there's little additions to the things that they will talk about that they haven't talked about. Those are the best times in interviewing people that are insulated or self-protected or self-filtering. Is there sometimes you may not get something juicy if that's what you're looking for, but there are moments where they're like, oh, I just remembered this thing. So there's a little window if they're comfortable enough where they'll be like, that just reminded me of this thing. And it may not be a big thing, but it's not going to be something they've talked about before.
Well, that it was an unintentional side effect of the podcast is like when we talk to our listeners and they ask us for advice, which we're completely unqualified to give, but that...
Are you unqualified? Aren't you qualified by just virtue of your personal experience to address at least from that
That's
zone?
all we do. That's all we can do.
So that's qualified.
Is it?
I'm sorry, you want to change the name of the podcast?
Dr. Maron. But one of the nice things has been that it ends up sort of being a bit revealing with our celebrity guests in how they relate to our callers and what they like. It's sort of it's an interesting avenue to get to know somebody, like through their,
their reaction.
Advice. Yeah.
Well, I that sounds fun to me. When do we do that part?
We should do it.
Well, we can do that after you do that part.
You can do an ad read?
No.
Oh.
Not in front of you. Although if you want to, we can.
Who are you?
Should I clear my throat a few more times?
What is it? Do you have a book out? There's a book.
There's a book coming out.
There's a book. It's out.
It's coming out.
It's out.
You have a book.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's out.
Your book is out.
You have a book coming out?
I have a book coming out.
Your book is out too. By the time this is released, your book is also out.
Wow. When's this going to be released? Next year?
Fuck you.
I'm going to shelve
January?
it.
Fuck you, Maron.
Oh, here it comes. Look,
Yeah.
she's got her shit together now. It took her took 15, 20 minutes for her to.
Oh my God. What a fucking dick.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Get your beanie on.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's good. Now
Getting
she's
them.
here. Now comes the she figured out a way in, and now she's just gonna beat me up. Okay, now you're all open. How about a kick in the balls?
With a patent leather shoe.
Now it's sounding good.
Okay, deal breakers.
Yeah.
You're going to imagine that you're single.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, would this be a deal breaker or not?
Okay.
Number 1.
Yeah.
She calls you buddy.
That would depend on the vibe.
Like, buddy, do you want to go to the spaghetti factory tonight?
Is this like the first date kind of deal?
No. You live with her.
I live there. Oh, hey, buddy.
Buddy, do you mind picking up some toilet paper?
I'm living with the person at this point, and just out of nowhere that starts happening. Yeah, that would be at least a red flag if that was not established previous. I'm living with the person, and then all of a sudden it's, hey, buddy, how you doing? Like, what the fuck is happening? So I guess it would be
Buddy,
at least a conversation.
Buddy, you're overwatering the orchid.
Ooh, yeah. Who are you talking to? Something like that. What's happening?
Buddy, it's you.
No, this is not. I don't.
Bud,
Oh, no.
on.
No, dude.
Okay, number 2. She is a Christian Scientist and believes in prayer over medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't happen. That's a deal breaker, yeah.
But she's smoking hot. She's so hot.
Okay, well, if she tells me that after whatever happens that first date, then we had a nice time.
And all your friends are like, dude, you're the hottest fucking girl on the planet.
Yeah, but she's a religious nut in some ways.
Well,
In a very specific way.
she's healing you.
Deal breaker. No can do.
She is a vaginal virgin.
What? Okay. Well, why are you holding on to that? What's happening? So vaginal virgin, that means like the conversation is like, hey, I only take it in the ass? Is that
Yeah, or the mouth.
not terrible? I'm not a big ass guy, but mouths are good. It'd be a little weird. I mean, like on some level, it'd be. Is it? She's saving it for some reason. Yeah, if I were single and that was the deal, like I'd give it a try for a couple of weeks.
Mouth-wise.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't even need a vaginal explanation.
yeah.
Just, you're just.
And then, but eventually I'd be frustrated. I'm like, why can't I? And she'd be like, I'm saving it for a human. And you're just a weird animal that I'm experimenting with. So, yeah.
Okay. She doesn't brush her teeth, only uses mouthwash.
And yeah, that's not good. Because then you'd have to have this discussion. Like, why don't you brush your teeth?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because there's polyurethane on the bristles. And it's like a whole thing that like Crest and like Colgate and these
Oh, right. Big pharma. Big
exactly.
toothpaste.
Exactly. So I use hydrogen peroxide pretty much.
To just foam your mouth clean.
Yeah.
That's like,
I mean, don't you think my breath is nice or no?
I don't know. I mean, if you hydrogen peroxide doesn't really, it's not, the whole thing is just odd. And why don't you just brush your fucking teeth?
Okay, I brushed my fucking hair, you stupid fucking dick.
Yeah.
All right? I also brush my pussy hair, you stupid fucking dick. All right?
Yeah.
Teeth they don't have hair on them. I don't need to be actually brush.
Okay, I gotta go.
Oh, this person is the worst. Of course you don't want to be with her. She's awful.
Is this all the same person?
Kind of. Yep. So, yep.
This person's got a lot of issues. So she doesn't brush her teeth, no pussy sex. She's a Christian Scientist. And
she's really hot.
And she calls you buddy?
She calls me buddy.
But she's so hot.
Yeah, got it.
She's so hot.
Yeah.
She's so hot. Okay. You go to a Mexican restaurant and she tries to order in Spanish, but she doesn't speak Spanish.
I'd be doing a lot of this. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just looking uncomfortably at the server. Yeah, I don't know.
Hola.
Uh-huh.
Hola. Salsa e guacamole.
Yeah.
Per favor.
So that's what I'm dealing with? That's the...
But smoking hot.
I don't put a premium on smoking hot. A lot of stuff has to be, like I doesn't, it's...
You've notoriously dated super hot women.
Yeah.
One, two. They're all hot.
Yeah.
Don't get me into
dude,
trouble.
Come on.
Like like who? Like
I mean, they're all. I'm sure they're all great women, but they're all hot as well.
You mean like hot, like modelly hot?
I've seen pictures of their exes, and they're all really hot. But you're saying that you don't put a premium on looks?
Ooh, I like this. Now we're getting Larry King style. Fuck you, Marc Maron. Do you like hot women?
Whatever. Like hot can be like. I mean, hot is not really about looks, is it? Ultimately.
Oh, lofty, huh?
No, it's connection, right? If it, like hot sex is not about looks, is it?
Oh, sure.
Is it?
Oh,
no,
right.
seriously.
No, you're so right. Wait,
think about it.
No, you're so right.
Tell me about like the hot dudes you fucked, okay? And like tell me that there wasn't like a sort of half-ball Jew in there that was better than them. Seriously. Nothing.
Anna's losing it
nothing?
right now. You can't hear it. She's losing it. She's losing it right
now. You got nothing? All right. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. So
I've never seen you this speechless ever, and on a podcast. This is amazing.
The thing about Mishna was my second wife, and she was, she did model before she was a comic, but she was very sharp, and I liked her a lot. I loved her, but I fucked that up. Who did I have long term? How did I fuck that up?
Yeah.
I was married when I met her, and she got me sober, and I left my wife for her, and I was newly sober, and I didn't have a handle on anything, emotionally, and I was very abusive and crazy and jealous and mean. I fought a lot, very insecure, and I just drained her.
Can you talk a little bit about jealousy? Because I think that's, I don't know, that's something that comes up a lot in our podcast. What were you jealous about? Like, or do you think that came from her, or like instigating, maybe subconsciously?
I don't have. I'm not as possessed by it as I used to be. I know that, but I think in that particular situation, I'd put a lot into her. Like I'd left a marriage, and like I wasn't happy in that marriage, and like I really clung on to her, and she was hot, and she could have most dudes. So like, there was a mixture of insecurity of the combination of like, what's she doing with me in the first place? And how does this survive? How is she not going to go somewhere else? And then you actually make that happen.
That's a tough way to live. But I imagine that it takes two people to sort of like combine to come to that thing of like, this is doomed, I would think, right?
Well, I think that if you're in a cycle of jealousy and emotional abuse, and the sort of you're incapable of trust or appropriate intimacy, that cycle, some part of you thinks it's going to keep working. The like, fuck you, you don't love me. Who are you fucking? Oh, you're crying. I'm sorry. Let's fuck. That cycle
Did you find yourself ever in a position where you like were tempted to sort of spy or snoop or like go through her phone? Or
not until she actually started, not until she left me, really, and then like in retrospect, I knew there was some shit going on, but I've been on the other side of that. There's a certain amount of karma to that. Ultimately, my big problem is just about, being able to be intimate and trust people, like, because, you can manufacture intimacy in a few different ways. You can sexualize, or you can, cause trouble and then apologize. And, that feels intimate, or, just being able to have good sex, that feels intimate. But to really be emotionally open and trust somebody with your heart is a tricky business for me. So I spent a lot of years kind of doing patterns of other things to compensate for my inability to be intimate correctly. And I still, it's a work in progress, but I'm not mean anymore. I'm not abusive anymore. I'm not as insecure as I used to be, and I'm a little over a lot of shit.
That's remarkable. I mean, it is. That's like
you run out of energy for that shit. It's like there comes a point where I used to do a joke about it. What was that joke about jealousy? It's like how I dealt with jealousy. It was an equation. It was like the joke was sort of like if she goes out and fucks some guy like once or twice. I fucked her hundreds of times, so I'm like way ahead. I'm still winning. It's not quite right, but there is logic to it. If you put that much,
it's also so fundamentally depressing.
Premium on sex as being, the thing that is the thing.
Right.
Yeah, I still have that.
Do you think that men do that? Don't they?
I guess they do.
Do you guys think, and please attempt to answer this honestly.
Yeah.
Do you oftentimes, do you think that you, for the most part, are the smartest person in the relationship?
No. Not in my relationship.
Whoa. Let's truly think about this.
Like smart across the board-ish?
However you would define intelligence.
No. Not anymore. I'm with somebody who's in a completely different world than I am in terms of her world and what she does. And like there's an intelligence to that world that I know nothing about. And there's my intelligence. And then the stuff that, I think I'm smarter than. It usually comes down to like, oh, you don't know that? How could you not know that? So that's not really intelligence. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And she's got a lot more practical wisdom than I do. So I don't know. I don't know how smart I am sometimes.
Well, the reason why I ask for many different reasons, but because so many of the people in our industry are these like incredibly intelligent, creative narcissists, and that are fascinating. But are also fascinated by themselves, like myself. Probably.
Yeah, I wish I had more of that part of it.
I think you might.
Really?
Yeah, dude, you're a total fucking narcissist.
I don't know.
Yeah, listen. You don't think
I'm
you are?
I'm not that fascinated by myself.
I don't know. You started a podcast.
I know, but that was sort of like I didn't know what else to do. Like it was a desperate move, and I was talking about myself
in a
fairly
book?
Raw way.
You're a stand-up comic,
right? And I'm pretty tapped. Like I'm kind of
all like roads are leading towards, and here's how I know as well. You're not insulted by this idea.
Well, no, because like the narcissism of the chore of talking about myself, like is diminished by spending an hour and a half with somebody else. So like I never felt like in the first few podcasts, first 50 or 100, yeah, I had problems and I needed to engage with people to help me get through them. But like I don't know that I don't talk about myself at the beginning of my podcast, just sort of like, this is so great, I'm going to talk about me. A lot of times I'm like, all right, what happened? I got to burn some time. I like really like there's, and I've pulled back on talking about certain elements of my life because they're just like I had to learn how to keep things private.
Why?
I had to learn because it's like, it's usually about other people. If I'm going to talk about myself with others and that person doesn't have a say in it or doesn't like what I said about it, it causes me more trouble than it's worth. And it's sort of, it's not nice. Like I can say nice things about people and that's fine. But I spent a lot of time early on in the podcast talking about relationships coming apart, shit going bad, like all that stuff. And a couple of women are like, I don't have a voice in that. And I'm like, well, I guess that's true. So I'm only presenting my side, which isn't really fair. And all right, lesson learned. Don't drag your dirty laundry, even if it's compelling. Like I don't talk about nuanced problems that I'm having with a person in my life because they're real people and I'm talking to 500,000 people. And that means 500,000 people are in my shit and in her shit or his shit. And they may not want that.
It's the deceptive nature, though, too, of like doing the podcast, which is so wonderful about like the intimacy that you have. Like we're sitting here in Sim's place, and as with your garage, like you feel like this isn't going to go anywhere. Talking to some friends, it might happen to be talking into a microphone.
Yeah,
but I hear you on that for sure.
But like when I have a conversation with people, the interview part of the conversation part, like I know where they, I can feel where they're uncomfortable. I can, I don't need to go there. I'm there to, sort of not make them feel uncomfortable. I'm there to have a conversation and have it be intimate, right? But anytime that someone has said, I want something taken out, it's 90% of the time, it's because they've said something about someone else.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And it's not, and I don't know what that speaks to really, but that is appropriate. Is that, okay, I said all this shit about me, but like I didn't need to throw that person under the bus. And even if you think in your mind as a producer, you're sort of like, yeah, it wasn't that bad, but it's going to start some shit. And, and I think that's a relatively good practice. If you don't want to be alone.
Well, but also it speaks to sort of the intimacy, right? That you create that hopefully we help.
I don't know if it's intimacy as much as it is candid. It's comfortable. Like, people feel comfortable, so they talk freely. I guess it's intimacy. I don't know that they trust me necessarily or that they have a lot on the line in that moment.
The chewing gum that's now back on your phone.
Yeah.
Looks sort of like a misshapen marble.
Sure.
But
or a piece of gum.
It's still
what?
It's still I still want to.
What's really throwing you about that? No one has offered me anywhere to put it. And it's been out there twice. I'm at someone's home, and what am I supposed to do? I'm done chewing it. And I'm not asking for anything.
I think it's fine right there.
I have no problem with it, but she seems to be hung up on it, and
I just think it's like well molded now.
Sure, you can make chewed gum into almost anything if you have the time. Of this? You can take a picture of the gum. Oh, this is great. Where's that picture going to go? Are you going to tweet it and just say Marc's gum?
I'm going to say Marc's gum.
What's going on? Is this going on? Is it okay? Everything okay?
Are you going to make out with me?
Is everything all right?
Oh, you're terrifying. I knew you would be terrifying. Oh.
Why am I terrifying?
You just
I just was checking in. That didn't feel horrible. I have boundary problems.
I was hoping for this. This is great. I love this. Continue.
Is there more of this bit?
Yeah, I think there's one more question.
Oh, okay.
There's one more question. A deal breaker or a how would you proceed? What would you like? A deal breaker or a how would...
I feel like we did a bunch of deal breakers.
Yeah. Okay. How do you proceed? You get word from your agent that Julie Andrews wants to meet and discuss a very important project.
Yeah.
When you arrive, or maybe at the chateau, she tells you, I know you are the only person I can trust with this. Would you be my partner on The Amazing Race?
The Amazing Race, that's a reality show where you have to
travel around the world.
Oh. I don't know the show that well. I mean,
it's won like 10 Emmys, and I don't know, it's like the number one reality show. I don't know if it still is, but it was huge at one point.
Sim's an early investor.
I would really have to check my calendar.
Ouch.
It sounds like it's going to take a long time to shoot. And
we're going to go around the world together. You got your passport.
I can be singing. Is it going to be singing?
We can sing on the plane.
Me and Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
She's great. She has to be fairly old now.
Oh my God. Is
What?
this where we're going with this?
No,
You're going to like divert?
No.
Come on. Do you want to be on The Amazing Race or not?
With Julie Andrews?
Yeah.
Because I'm the only person she wants to do it with?
Yes.
Like it's her last wish?
Yes.
Okay. I'll do it, Julie.
Thank you.
Let's do a quick break and then we'll do calls. Thanks, Mark.
This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by ZocDoc. Who gets excited about trying a new restaurant that has 2 out of 5 stars? When it comes to finding healthcare, don't ratings matter even more? ZocDoc is a free app where you can compare doctors, read reviews from real patients, and even make same-day appointments. When I finally called to reschedule my dentist appointment, I was told that my dentist had been retired for nearly 3 years. In my defense, parking was a nightmare. Through ZocDoc, I found a new dentist who had great reviews, took my insurance, and whose office was actually within walking distance. I was also able to book an appointment instantly without talking to a receptionist who made me feel guilty about not having my teeth cleaned for 3 years. My new dentist didn't make me feel guilty either, and only suggested I floss a little more often. Whether you need a primary care physician, dentist, dermatologist, psychiatrist, eye doctor, or other specialist, ZocDoc makes healthcare easy. Now is the time to prioritize your health. Go to ZocDoc.com/unqualified and download the ZocDoc app. Sign up for free and book a top-rated doctor who might be available as soon as today. That's ZocDoc.com/unqualified. This episode of Unqualified is brought to you in part by Osea. Wondering what to gift your friends and family this holiday season? Female founded over 25 years ago by a mother and daughter team, Osea's award-winning cleansers, serums, face moisturizers, and body products give you the results you want. Skin that looks and feels amazing. I recently got to try Osea's new body butter, which, like their now famous Undaria algae body oil, transforms dry skin without being greasy, has the same incredible scent, and leaves your skin soft, smooth, and healthy looking. If my experience is any indication, you can count on your partner giving you a lot of compliments. This holiday season, stock up and share your new favorite clean skincare and body care with your friends and family. Unqualified listeners get 10% off your first order with promo code ANNA at OseaMalibu.com. You'll get free samples with every order, and orders over $50 get free shipping. Gifting is always easier if you start early, so head to OSEAMalibu.com. Use code ANNA. Sim, will you tell us what's happening?
Waiting for Nina to dial.
Oh, you want me to call her?
Yep. Can you put the thing up here so we can... Sure. Yeah.
We see the guy?
No, it's just
Oh.
that the speakerphone.
Oh, I see.
budget
It's on a
operation.
microphone? Oh,
Yeah,
you got
the
a-
internal mic.
Oh,
Hey, Joey.
Hi.
Joey?
hi.
How are you, Joey? It's Sim. Can't talk.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm going to introduce you to Anna right now.
Hi, Joey. It's Anna.
Hi. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. And we're here with Marc Maron, who's fucking awesome. And
Big fan, Mark. Hi.
Hi, how you doing? Nice to talk to you. What's going on over there?
Yeah, tell us about your mom.
So, my mom and I have always been close, not like the closest of close, but check in every week, very open about everything. About a year and a half ago, my stepfather passed away, and it sent a good amount of the family into like a really deep grief, as losing someone does. And we've been really good with each other and kept up. It hit me hard. He's been in my life since I was about 10. And about, I guess it was like 5 weeks ago now, last I talked to my mother, it's been a little strained. She just dropped that she had just gotten home from a date, and that she is online dating, and it threw me so hard. And it reopened a lot of the grief for me. And then it also has just strained our relationship, and we've texted a little bit. We kind of had a phone conversation, but it was awful. And I was mean to her, and it was bad. And it's like the floodgates opened, and I feel so much guilt that our relationship wasn't is, because it's, I can't wrap my head around this. And then the more I think about what she's must be going through, and then what's happening in the world, then I'm just like, everything that I'm feeling feels so minute and small that I can't seem to get myself to call her to even deal with it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, of course. But why do you think that you had such a strong reaction?
It partly for me feels so fast. I know it's a year and a half. It's just, they were together for around 20, and it feels like it's just like disrespect.
But do you think that it stems also a little bit from maybe the idea of your relationship with her and your closeness with her? Does that make sense at all?
I think, yeah, there's definitely, I moved away when I was 22 very quickly they're in Missouri, to the East Coast, and we see each other, and there's definitely a strain to feeling like I abandoned part of my family. And then I think, God, it's almost the things I don't want to wrap my head around.
Well, you know what? It's weird. Here's what's weird is that you don't know your mother any other way than her being with that man, and that balance there. So there, like when my parents got divorced, like I was older, and it was okay. But she started, I don't know when she started dating, but she was dating a lot of dudes, and she would tell me about it. And I had this moment where I realized, like, I don't know her at all in this way, because it's not like mother-son stuff, and that stuff wasn't even that great. But it's like my mom out in the world, vulnerable, and, trying to find somebody to hang out with. Because, like, she's never done that. I mean, like, not in my lifetime.
Right.
So, like, she's taking these tremendous risks, and she's putting herself out there to try to find companionship, which she deserves and people want. And, you get to a certain age, and it's like, it's just hard to see your mother in that position, because you don't know her like that. And, the conversations become different. And, now it's like, sometimes my mother will complain about her dude. And then when she was dating, she would tell me these stories about these weirdos she dated with. And some of them I can't get out of my mind, but it's like, but they're just people outside of being our mothers and whatever our expectations are of them.
Wait, so I have two questions. One, are you in a relationship?
I am in a relationship. We're about a year and a half into.
Are you in love? Is it happy?
I am. We are. We're very happy together.
Okay, that was not super convincing.
No, no, we are. We are. We are also long distance, and so which works for us pretty well.
But you don't have like regular intimacy, and so also, and then what about your biological father? Can I ask you a little bit about that?
He's always been in my life. Spurts of moving away from Missouri, then always coming back, and they were always very, my mom and my father were always very good about trying not to bash each other for whatever their issues were. And they divorced when I was, I guess I was 2. And then now he is living in right outside of Olympia, Washington, on the Puget Sound.
Oh yeah, I know the sound.
And he very much has a life over there, and is happily married again, and has grandkids over there. And we talk when we can, and see each other when we can afford it.
So do you think that that your reaction to your mom finding somebody is the idea of sort of losing her? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that losing her to somebody else.
I think that's definitely part of it. And then it's also what's really been going through my mind in the last, really specifically the last couple days, has been just of like losing my stepdad. He was so important to me. He was very he was an older man, and he Marine in Vietnam War, and he supported me wanting to have a life in the arts and have my own career and do something a little non-traditional in his eyes. And he saw that in me and he supported me coming out. He was always there. He
sounds like a fucking awesome guy. And how fortunate that you got to experience him in your life. That's so rare. I was lucky enough to have parents that supported me, to pursue acting, and I know how rare that is. I think you can't punish your mom. She made a good decision.
No, and that's what I feel like I'm doing right now, and it's so hard to just leave that behind.
You can't. Truthfully, she made a really great decision the second time around, and so you may have to trust her on the idea that she's going to make other good decisions. And also, everyone needs a little loving. Everyone needs to sleep in late and watch terrible television and order breakfast in bed and and have sloppy, disgusting kisses.
Hey Joey, I'm going to put Nina
breath
on real quick. Nina went through a similar situation. So Nina, when you talk about that real quick.
Yeah, hey, I'm sorry to crash this party. We'll get through this, but when I was 11, my dad actually died, and about a month afterwards, my mom started dating somebody new. So when I heard this, I was like, oh God, this is so familiar. And it's I'm not an angry person. I don't lash out. I'm not an explosive person, but I mean, the only time I've actually felt anger was in that moment, because I was so confused as to how could you move on so quickly? This is someone, who raised us, who's been in our lives, and it's frustrating. But I think having more perspective on it and kind of taking myself out of the equation, it really became about how my mom was dealing with it. How my mom couldn't, she had this partner in crime for so long that she needed someone to lean on. And maybe that's part of it too, is that she just needs that companionship. Maybe it's not even the relationship part. It's just the friendship of someone who can empathize, and someone who's kind of around her age who can empathize through life experience. And I mean, I didn't have perspective on this for a long time, and it's still really hard for me to work through. And I really, I'm 20 and I haven't really seen the world yet, but it really, I think, became about my mom's own grieving process and respecting that. And I mean, it is a really hard thing to wrap your head around, and I wasn't great at it coming up. I was very resentful. I was very frustrated and angry, and I think that channeled in my own grief. But at the end of the day, it's just about how your mom is going through this. Your mom was with this person for how long did you say?
About 20 years.
Yeah, and those 20 years are incredible, and to suddenly not have that person with you is really frustrating, and you don't really know how to come to grips with it. And even though you're older, it's hard to, I think, and after talking to my mom about it, it's hard to reach out to your kids because the relationship is different. So from my own experience, and I don't know if this will help or if this does help, but I just think that it's a place of companionship. It's just a place of comfort and someone that you can talk to about stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know if that helps, but
I do really respect how because we've never really had boundaries with each other, which is, I think, part of the equation too, is that we've always been so open with each other. Like, since I was a kid, it was always about openness and just talking. And so it was always like she was part of a friend. And then she kind of dropped it in just in a conversation versus being like telling it straight. And now I'm like, I almost want to figure out a way to put a boundary temporarily on, like, let me bring it up. I'm interested, but I need to get there on my own.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of your process, you know? And I think your mom will be very understanding of that. I think it's something that, I mean, this, and grief especially, something this big and this, like, monumental, and something that changes kind of the course of your life and the way you think about the world, especially when it's somebody who champions you. I think that's a big part of it too, is you lose this pillar in your life.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah, that I think you need to just kind of, like, be open. I mean, if you guys don't have these boundaries, then talk to your mom about maybe just needing some time to, like, cope with this. Like, you're still digesting the loss of somebody who is huge and so present in your life that it's okay and it's totally valid for you to take that time to process.
Oh, totally. Sorry, I'm
No.
crying.
Oh God.
Thank you, Nina.
Dude.
Thank you. That was
So
that
Love
was
you so much.
that was beautiful, Nina. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody's crying over here. It's a cry fest.
She said it really well. There's a lot of losing the pillar that was a lot of my stepdad in a lot of our lives. And I think he brought together a lot of family, brought together a lot of extended family. And I've never really even really thought about that. I feel like I went through the grief and then kind of stifled it to get myself keep going in life and just keep moving forward. And just really honoring him is, I know deep down she's not leaving him behind.
Can you tell her that? Can you tell her, like, Mom, I reacted out of anger because I'm still grieving, but
Yeah.
I love you and I want the best for you. I want you to feel companionship, and it's going to be a little hard for me because I loved my stepdad so much.
And I think it's partly when having the distance from her, I'm not seeing her day to day. I'm not seeing what her life has become now post him. When we see each other, it's moments of celebration, it's vacation, it's moments away from the everyday things that are, like you said, wanting to the intimacy of someone there.
Hey, Joey, we have to go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Joey,
for sharing this with us.
Please keep in touch, and please tell you know what? I would put money, well, not that I'm a gambling lady, but that your mom would so love to hear exactly what you told us. And just that you love her, you miss her, you miss your stepfather, and, you know, and like that this is all difficult for you, but you don't want to punish her and you want to keep, like, communication open. And I have to tell you, you know what, I predicted that a lot of our listeners are going to really relate to this phone call. And so please keep in touch, because I think that you know,
Thank you.
These are challenges that
We haven't had a call like this. This is the first time we've had
and I don't know. I mean, sometimes I'm 40 and I think about the idea of losing one of my parents. I can't.
No,
even.
I'm right.
I can't even. I can't.
I know.
Like,
You don't want to go there.
cannot. But listen. But love your mom.
Yeah.
And please keep in touch. Okay. We love you.
And thank you, Nina, for that.
Yeah, Nina, that was fucking beautiful.
That was really beautiful.
Here.
Oh, I hung up by accident. Joey, I'm sorry I hung up on you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I'm, like, pulling on it closer.
Joey is gone. I'm gonna get
Oh,
him back.
yeah.
I
No,
hung up.
no,
Oh,
you
oh.
don't have to. I don't know what I don't know. Maybe just if Joey, if you listen back to this, like, just don't, like, you still have that other pillar. Like, you still have your mom, so, like, don't push away that like love that you still have. It's very easy to do that, but I mean, it's harder to lean into it and it's easier to push it away. But if you just, I mean, Ani gave it good advice of just like saying exactly what you said here to your mom. Your mom's understanding and empathetic, and I think it'll just open up a different kind of world of understanding for you and your mom. I don't know.
Life is fucking short.
Yeah. That was all very heavy and emotional.
Was that too much for you, huh?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you were
I can handle
into
it.
this kind of thing.
I
We have one more call. Actually, the next call
I can handle emotions.
Don't you think that that's like a odd
I cry a
thing,
lot
though,
on my
about
podcast.
stand-ups though?
What?
Well, and being in the world of comedy, it's like the suppression of.
I don't know. I cry a lot more now than I ever did.
Why?
Because like I get attached to people's story, you know, and I get like I just feel. I don't know. I cry a lot in the garage when people talk to me. Like not like weeping, but like I get moved.
Hello.
Hi, Cynthia. It's Anna.
Hi, how are you?
Great. We're here with Marc Maron.
Cynthia's 27 and
Hi.
she's in Santa Barbara.
Hi.
So Cynthia, you have a question about male-female best friend relationships, and something's going on with one of your buddies. What's happening?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Massachusetts, but I live in Santa Barbara now. So a couple weeks ago, I went home to Massachusetts, and I was trying to get together with my best friend. We hadn't seen each other in a couple months. So I made plans with them 3 separate times. And each time they ended up falling through or he didn't show up. Various things happened. And so I was pretty upset and I called him out on it. And after a lot of prying, he said that part of the reason that he kept bailing was because his girlfriend had an issue with our friendship. She was uncomfortable with the two of us hanging out. So I'm not trying to come between him and his girlfriend. I like his girlfriend a lot, actually. And I don't know what to do to make the situation better. And on top of it, this is like the 3rd time that this has happened to me with close male friends. So I'm kind of rambling right now. So.
No. This is so relevant to what Sim and I do. And as now we're aging friends.
Yeah, we've been friends for a long time.
Friends.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, do you have, and please, because the only way that maybe this could be potentially helpful is if you're totally honest with yourself. And I know it might be a little touchy, but do you have any romantic feelings at all towards him?
No, I just want to be friends with him. I thought about it before she was in the picture, but as soon as she was in the picture, him and I don't make sense at all, and him and her make a lot of sense.
Has he expressed feelings towards you in the past before her?
Before her, not in a tangible way.
Uh-huh.
That makes
What
sense.
does that mean?
We've been flirty before, but nothing like it just would never happen if that makes I don't know how to describe it.
Did you ever make out?
No.
Whoa, that was a long wait, but
Did you just try to kiss once?
was there a drunken night camping under the stars?
You guys kissed once.
She's not
Everyone's
answering.
vomiting. You guys.
We were both really drunk, and it was bad.
There we go. Mark knew it all along.
And wait, what happened when you were really drunk?
We made out.
Oh, you just made out?
So
Yeah.
How was that?
We both agreed the next morning that it wouldn't work. Mutually, we both just want to be friends.
Right. But did it feel good?
when does making out not feel good?
Yeah. In the moment it did, but the next morning it felt crummy.
I wonder if he told his girlfriend about that.
This is the thing. Yes, Mark, you're totally onto this. Yeah, that
I'm no dummy.
You're no dummy. You have a podcast. that came before ours.
I'll give your advice.
Cynthia, but I think that clearly your friend's girlfriend views you as like a threat, and maybe with like that might be somewhat justified in the sense that you guys have a little bit of a history. There may be chemistry. I don't know. I think a platonic friendship between you two might be really difficult to have.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect, and this is me being totally arrogant and presumptuous, I suspect that that you may have stronger feelings for him than just being a friend, which is why you want to be friends with him, and he may have the same feelings towards you, which is why he told his current girlfriend about maybe some stuff that happened between you guys, which is why she's like, there's no fucking way you're seeing her.
That's exactly what happened. I mean, he totally told her that they made out once and it was just once and that's not a big deal. But in her mind, she's thinking it could happen again.
Right.
But then he's also using her, the woman we're on the phone with right now, to put a wedge in and not really commit or be intimate with the person he's with now.
Is there anything I can do to make her feel better about it, though? Because I don't want that to happen ever. Like, even if she wasn't in the picture, even if we were both single, I wouldn't want anything with him.
It's sort of on him.
I think that, kill her with kindness. But if you do want to do that, it takes a lot of effort. I would definitely only reach out to her, not to him. And just like continue to just be like, hey, I'm your friend. I want to be friends. Is there any way when I come back to Massachusetts we can hang out? I'd love to see you. Let's do a girls thing. Like this is a commitment, though.
Do you know her?
Only through him.
So how's that going to work? Are you going to make new friends now?
Well, listen, if she wants him in her life, then this is the only strategy.
Oof, that could all blow up.
Hey.
I'm not trying to be negative.
No. But I do think that I think that it will be I think
this is one of those cases that's not going to work. I know. The reason. What did you do when Amy and I started dating? She was a little intimidated, and I'm gonna say that because who can't be? I mean, my best friend is Anna fucking Faris. Of course, they're gonna be intimidated.
What do you mean?
But what you did? What did you do? You were unbelievable. You went out of your way.
I wore like a tiny string bikini and high heels, and I trotted around your place, and I was like, "Oh, Sim and I are just great friends."
You went out of your way. You went out of your way to make Amy feel special.
Yes, thank you for saying that. But with your past relationships, I didn't do that. I felt like I wasn't as maybe aware of the idea that like a platonic relationship could be threatening. Right. And so I wasn't maybe all that considerate.
It made all the difference in the world. Amy.
But it's also her. It's Amy too. It's like Amy wanted to be my friend as well. And that but and maybe also we're getting old. I don't know. But
here's what's probably going to happen is you guys are going to start meeting on the sly just to have coffee.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
And
Mark, what the fuck, you doomsdayer? All right, bring it, Mark.
Oh, I don't know how much I'm supposed to chip in. I don't know the structure of the show.
Thanksgiving.
Here's what's going to happen.
So Cynthia flies home for Thanksgiving.
He's going to lie to his girlfriend so they can just have a friend time.
Right. They meet like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving at what? Like probably not Starbucks. Way too public. They're going to
Friendlies in Massachusetts. Do they still have Friendlies?
Just to talk.
Yes, we still have Friendlies.
Maybe get ice cream.
And
yeah, no, I mean, that's just it. It's just sadly, I think it's going to be on him because. I mean, you're obviously not going to pester him. You can say whatever you're going to say. Like, it's sort of sad that, we can't be friends because she's uncomfortable. And you can reach out to her, but like, I don't see how that doesn't just become some sort of like, tricky triangle situation. Maybe she'll be like, "Oh, she's really nice. I'm so glad we did that. Now you can totally go over there." So I just don't see that happening, right? So ultimately, what happens is, you're going to be in town, and he's going to be like, "All right, I'll try to meet you somewhere," and then he's going to lie to her just so he can, hang out with you for a little while. And if you can get away with it, so be it.
But here's the thing. I just want you to protect.
Advice?
No.
That's probably what's going to happen. It seems like it's going to happen.
But I just want to make sure that you protect yourself. Because it seems to me like you may like him in a more romantic way than maybe you want to fully admit, because that's just the nature. That's just the nature of things. And I completely understand that. I mean, Marc Maron is sitting here next to me, and I think that he likes me in a way that he doesn't fully want to admit because he's looking at me deep in the eyes right now. I can't tell if it's lust or anger.
I think that we have a nice chemistry. I mean, I wouldn't go to town with the liking thing. I don't fucking know you.
Turns out he's a jerk.
Let's give her some final advice.
But I think I just think protect yourself, and I don't know if I just don't know if like the friendship is worth pursuing if he's going to be in a relationship.
Just take a step back and see how it goes. If they break up, maybe you'll get your friend back. But at this point, just take a step back.
Don't you think like Santa Barbara, isn't it filled with like
seals? There's a lot of seals. Isn't there? Oh, not Santa
There
Barbara.
are a lot of seals.
I love how you
seals in
finished
Santa Barbara too?
I don't know. San Francisco, not.
No. Are there seals up in Santa Barbara?
Yeah, there's seals. Right? There's
seals in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
So cool, right? Seals are great.
Yeah.
Not as many as in
La Jolla?
San Francisco,
Okay.
but they're here.
Okay. I'm
Meet
sorry.
a guy named Ryan Travis. Take his Prius up to the Hearst Castle, break in.
Go swimming in the blue pool.
Go swimming in the blue pool and be like, I used to have a crush on this dude. Fuck this. Woo. Get arrested. Spend a couple nights in jail. We'll come bail you out. And then go see the seals. Pet them.
Yeah.
Get arrested again. And we'll come bail you out again.
That's
How does that sound?
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I don't.
Thank
even
you
know
for the advice.
I don't even know if we gave you advice, but I'm just worried that this dude's like playing all parties.
I knew it deep down. I just don't think I was ready to admit it to myself. So it's good to hear somebody else reflect that back to me. So
well, I love you. We love you. Thank you for being
thanks. I love you too. I love your podcast. I love everything you do.
Thank you. Oh God, my heart is just thumping right now. Thank you so much. All right, Cynthia. All right, we love you, and we will bail you out anytime.
Thank you. I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay.
Bye.
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 I've never bailed anybody out before.
Okay, I've got to.
You gotta get out of here.
Well, I got to pee. One.
All right, we're wrapping up right now. We're gonna plug your book.
Oh yeah, there's relationship stuff in my book, Anna.
I stayed up late last night reading it.
It's fun, right?
It's so good.
It's fun. You know a lot of people.
Fun.
In there.
I would never use that. Do you know one
There's
time
a lot of heavy,
Denise
beautiful
Richards,
stuff in there. Denise Richards, yeah.
We were on the set of Scary Movie 3.
Yeah.
And she said to me that being married to Charlie Sheen was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I thought, that is such an odd thing to describe marriage as.
Well, he probably was fun at some point. I don't think now.
Anyway, so I don't know if I would describe you or your book as fun.
Well, I think my point is it's engaging and it makes you laugh and
Yes.
you cry a little, and there's a lot of stuff in there from a lot of people that we all know, little kernels of wisdom and fun and sadness and laughs.
I feel like I am literally waiting for the punch, which is the title of your book.
I have to pee.
Words to Live By from the WTF podcast with Marc Maron.
Yeah.
and it just came out.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
It was great. I had a good time.
Do I now sound like Terry Gross a little bit?
Do you? Maybe a little. Just 'cause.
Now you're kind?
I was kind the whole way. I don't know what you
Have
think.
you been holding back?
I don't know what
Do you want to call me just a cunt? Just do it.
No, you haven't been cunty.
Well, no, of course not.
You've been like, erratic, but not cunty. Not, I wouldn't call this. I wouldn't say you were grounded. But not cunty.
We should retitle it.
Ungrounded.
Ungrounded. Ungrounded with Anna Faris.
Marc, thank you so much.
It was great. I had a good time. Where's the bathroom?
Right down there.
Okay.